Dear friends, this is the third part of research aptitude question and answer discussion. Here I have given around 50 questions and suitable explanations for that. I am Dr. I. Jesudas SJ from St. Saviour's College of Education, Palayinkotai, Tirunelveli. At the moment, I am the principal of the Valnar College of Education near Tendigal. I am happy to expose certain facts in net related topics. Thank you very much for your presence here. Let us enter into the slideshow. A statistical measure based upon the entire population is called parameter, while measure based upon a sample is known as what? Well, normally a statistical measure based upon the population will be parameter, no doubt about it. The measure based upon a sample is always known as statistics. So this is the definition of these two concepts which we have to keep in our minds. The population information is called a parameter, while the corresponding sample information is known as statistics. The same question worded in different manner in different net exams. Suppose you want to investigate the working efficiency of nationalized bank in India, which one of the following would you follow? Is it area sampling, multi-stage sampling, sequential sampling, quota sampling? Of course, all over India means different states. So, the sample size is very large. Hence, we need to indulge in multi-stage sampling. Which of the following sampling methods is based on probability? Is it convenience sampling, quota sampling, judgment sampling, or stratified sampling? Well, the first three, convenience sampling, quota sampling, judgment sampling, are all non-probability sampling techniques. Whereas stratified sampling is probability sampling technique because it involves statistical data and calculations, everything. Which of the following sampling methods is not based on probability? Is it simple random sampling, stratified sampling, quota sampling, cluster sampling? So, which is not based on probability? Quota sampling. Quota sampling is a non-probability sampling, whereas other sampling methods, namely simple random sampling, stratified sampling, cluster sampling, follow probability sampling methods. A researcher divides the populations into PG, graduates and plus 2 students, and using the random digit table, he selects some of them from each. This is technically called stratified random sampling according to the definition of it. So, stratified random sampling is a method of sampling that involves the division of a population into smaller subgroups known as strata. In stratified random sampling, the strata are formed based on members' shared characteristics such as income or educational qualifications. Question number 7. The final result of a study will be more accurate if the sample drawn is taken randomly, fixed by quota, representative to the population, purposing. Well, the final result of a study will be more accurate if the sample drawn is representative to the population. ஒரு பானை சோற்றுக்கு ஒரு சோறு பதம். Division of population on the basis of class, income, education level, etc. is called stratification, and every member of each stratum has equal chance of being selected by the researcher. Another question that has been asked in 2015, No male and female students perform equally well in a numerical aptitude test. This statement indicates what? Well, it starts with no male and female students. It is null hypothesis. Null hypothesis will always be negative of this sort. It always starts with there is no significant difference, something like. The term phenomenology is associated with the process of qualitative research. This is one of the qualitative methods, phenomenology. The sociogram technique is used to study vocational interest, professional competence, human relations, or achievement motivation. Of course, sociometry or sociogram, this technique is used to study human relations. Its purpose is to discover group structure, that is the basic network of friendship patterns. The relation of any one person to the group as a whole can be seen from a sociogram. Which one of the following is a research tool? Is it graph? Is it illustration? Is it questionnaire? Is it diagram? Of course, questionnaire. Mostly the survey researchers use questionnaire as the tool of research. A satisfactory statistical quantitative method should not possess one of the following qualities. Is it appropriateness, relevance, or is it measurability, or is it comparability, or is it flexibility? Flexibility has no place in a research process. Either this or that, the conclusion should be definite. So that way, a satisfactory statistical quantitative method should not possess flexibility, but it should be relevant, it should be measurable, it should be comparable. The importance of the correlation coefficient lies in the fact that there is a linear relationship between the correlated variables. It is one of the most valid measures of statistics. It allows one to determine the degree or strength of the association between two variables. It is a non-parametric method of statistical analysis. Which is the correct one? The importance of the correlation coefficient lies in the fact that it allows the researcher, to decide the degree or strength of the association between two variables. What is the definition of correlation coefficient? It tells us about the strength and direction of the linear relationship between variables x and y. The reliability of the linear model also depends on how many observed data points are in the sample. The sample data are used to compute the correlation coefficient for the sample. Another important question, the F test is essentially a two-tailed test. Is it essentially a one-tailed test? Whether it can be one-tailed as well as two-tailed depending on the hypothesis. The fourth option, it can never be a one-tailed test. Well, according to the definition of the F test, it can be one-tailed as well as two-tailed depending on the hypothesis. Which of the following is classified in the category of the developmental research? Of course, all philosophical research, action research, descriptive research, all are classified in the category of the developmental research. Research approaches are longitudinal and cross-sectional, oblique and horizontal, long and short section. Of course, research approaches are either longitudinal or cross-sectional. Other distractions are nonsensical. In longitudinal approaches, primarily the researchers are related with temporal sequences. That means It's a time at a longer period. For so many years, sometimes a research can be undertaken. So it is related with the time sequence. So it is done for a longer period. That has to be kept in mind. Cross-sectional researches are fundamentally related with the sample. No doubt about it. Other distractions are nonsensical here. Always cross-sectional researchers are fundamentally related with samples. Differences between longitudinal and cross-sectional researchers is a very important concept which we must know. Different questions are being asked under this section. First fact is this one: longitudinal researchers are working on a single subject for a longer term duration, while in cross section the immediate results have been derived after selecting a sample. In longitudinal researches, the researchers should have more patience to work than in cross sectional researches because it involves longer period of time. The longitudinal researches have been generally done under the specific situation and with the specific persons, but it is not done in cross sectional researches. It is for the samples immediately, for immediate conclusions. Normal probability curve should be positively skewed, negatively skewed, leptochatic skewed, or zero skewed. Normal probability curve should be zero skewed. Skewed means the top portion, how that tip has a particular nature. In normal probability curve, zero skewed means mean is equal to median is equal to mode. Mean, median, mode all reside at one point. Normal probability curve is a bell-shaped curve. 9-year-old students are taller than 7-year-old students. This is an example of a reference drawn from cross-sectional study, not vertical study, time series study, experimental study. A workshop is a conference for discussion on a topic. A workshop is a meeting for discussion on a topic. A workshop is a class at a college or a university in which a teacher and the students discuss a topic. A workshop is a brief, intensive course for a small group emphasizing the development of a skill or technique for solving a specific problem. Of course, a workshop is nothing but hands-on experience along with theoretical background. It involves skill development. Normally, in order to learn a new skill, we indulge in workshops. Which one of the following is not a non-parametric test? That is t-test. Two negatives lead to positive. So t-test is a parametric test. Here, what is the question? Which one of the following is not a non-parametric test? It is t-test. The variable which impacts the relationship between an independent variable and a dependent variable is known as control variable according to the definition in any scientific or experimental research. Sampling error decreases with the decrease in sample size, increase in sample size, process of randomization, process of analysis. Sampling error decreases with the increase in sample size. If we increase the number of samples, then naturally there will be decrease in the sampling error. The sequential operations in scientific researches are covariation, elimination of spurious relations, generalization, theorization. Covariation between two sets of variables. If one set of variable is at the higher side, another set of variables also should be at the higher side. So covariation. What is the elimination of spurious relations? That is, sometimes there can be relationship between the set of variables, but nevertheless there won't be any reason for that. It is not a causal relationship. There should be causal relationship in order to take that into account in the scientific research. If that is the case, without having any causal relationship, if we get the relationship of certain variables, that should be eliminated. That is called the elimination of spurious relations. The third point, generalization, theorization. These are the steps in scientific research. The research approach of Max Weber to understand how people create meanings in natural settings is identified as interpretative paradigm. This is the definition of interpretative uh, paradigm. The meaning of interpretative paradigm is this: interpretative paradigm is concerned with understanding the world as it is from subjective experiences of individuals. They use meaning, not measurements, meaning oriented methodologies such as interviewing or participant observation that rely on a subjective relationship between the researcher and the subjects, very much subjective in nature. What is positive paradigm in research? The positive paradigm or positivist paradigm of exploring social reality is based on the idea that one can best gain an understanding of human behavior through observation and reason. According to the positivist paradigm, true knowledge is based on experience of senses, and it can be obtained by observation and experiment. Which one of the following is a non-probability sampling? Is it a simple random sampling, purposive sampling, systematic sampling, or stratified sampling? Which is a non-probability sampling? Very obviously, purposive sampling. That is a non-probability sampling. Of course, there are 5 types in non-probability sampling, namely quota sampling, convenience sampling, purposive sampling, self-selection sampling, and snowball sampling. The core elements of dissertation are: is it introduction, data collection, data analysis, conclusions and recommendations, or executive summary, literature review, data gathered, conclusions bibliography, or research plan, research data, analysis, references, or introduction, literature review, research methodology, results, discussion and conclusions. The fourth one follows, the normal steps of any research process. So as soon as we read all these statements, immediately we must come to a conclusion that option D is the correct one, because these are the steps of any research process. Sampling cases means sampling using a sampling frame, identifying people who are suitable for research. Literally, the researcher's brief case. Fourth one, sampling of people, newspapers, television programs, etc. So sampling cases means these things: sampling of people, newspapers, television programs, etc. The frequency distribution of a research data, which is symmetrical in shape, similar to a normal distribution, but center peak is much higher. That is called a leptokurtic normal curve, leptokurtic curve. You can refer to passages in smartphone for pictures of normal curve. They will be giving different types: mesokurtic, leptokurtic, plateokurtic. How that the tip becomes a flat or intense, that we can see through the figures. When planning to do a social research, it is better to approach the topic with an open mind. It is better to do a pilot study before getting stuck into it. It is better to be familiar with literature on the topic. It is better to forget about theory because this is a very practical aspect. Well, when planning to do a social research, it is better to approach the topic with an open mind because anything can happen. This is a social plane. We cannot go with some sort of prejudiced idea or anything. When we go there, we will find out something new perhaps. So that way, better to go with an open mind whenever we do social researches. Which of the following statements is not true in the context of participatory research? It recognizes knowledge as power. It emphasizes on people as experts. It is a collective process of inquiry. Its sole purpose is production of knowledge. So which is not true in the context of participatory research. Its sole purpose is production of knowledge. That is not the purpose. In order to attain knowledge, we are not having participatory research. Our aim is something different. So participatory research involves inquiry but also action. Which of the following are the basic rules of APA style of referencing format? A. Italicized titles of shorter works such as journal articles or essays. Invert authors' names, last name first, etc. Italicize titles of longer works such as books and journals. Alphabetically index reference list. Select the correct answer from the quotes given below. Out of 4 statements, there may be 2 or 3 may be correct, or 1 or 2 may be incorrect, false. So we have to choose according to the definition of or according to the nature of APA style of referencing format. So that way, which option should be correct? That is B, namely invert authors' names, last name first. That is one of the characteristics. Italicizing titles of longer works such as books and journals is another characteristics of APA style of referencing. Then third one, alphabetically index reference list. This is also one of the characteristics. The first one doesn't come under APA style of referencing format. So that's the distraction that has been given to us. So option B is correct. Research ethics has a direct connection more often with which stages of research. Research ethics mostly we need to be concerned about problem formulation and reporting of research findings. Only in these areas there can be unethical elements. Other things are distraction, other statements are distractions. For advancing knowledge, the latest strategy used by mankind is scientific thinking. Because of scientific thinking, the world has become very modern, even ultra modern. It is because of scientific thinking today we enjoy a lot of modern amenities, and without scientific thinking, man would have never been a modern man, a civilized man. Research ethics may be considered pertinent at which stage of research? Pertinent, relevant. Research ethics may be considered relevant at which stage of research? At the stage of data collection and interpretation. Because there can be a lot of falsity on the part of the researcher. He may not do the work properly and he can get everything filled up by himself sometimes. So, at the stage of data collection and interpretation, research ethics may be considered very important, very essential. In which of the following reporting format is formally prescribed? That is only at the doctoral level thesis, not in any other aspects of academic ventures. The principal of a school conducts and interview session of teachers and students with a view to explore the possibility of their enhanced participation in school programs. This endeavor may be related to which type of research? It talks about immediate problem in the school. So, according to the definition of action research, this is an application actually. So, action research is the right option. In doing action research, what is the usual sequence of steps? That is, first planning, then acting, observing, reflecting. So the option B is the correct one. In doing action research, first planning, what we want to find out, what do we want to do, planning, then acting upon it, then observing, reflecting, and giving the remedial measures or whatever you may think of giving. Which sequence of research steps is logical in the list given below? So once again, these are all the formal steps, sequential steps. That is nothing but option C: problem formulation, hypothesis making, development of a research design, collection of data, data analysis, and formulation of generalizations and conclusions. Other statements, certain steps will be changed and here and there. It may not be coming in proper order. A variable that is manipulated is known as independent variable, especially in scientific researches or experimental researches. So a variable that is manipulated is known as independent variable. All are examples of qualitative variables except religion and caste, sex, observation, interest of the subject. Of course, religion, caste, sex, male or female, observation, all come under qualitative variables except the interest of the subject is very much subjective. So it doesn't come under qualitative variables. A shift in attitude in respondents between 2 points during data collection is called regression effect. It's a technical meaning of regression effect. A shift in attitude in respondents between 2 points during data collection, that it is called regression effect. The major characteristic of correlation analysis is to seek out differences between variables, variations among variables, association among variables, regression among variables. Of course, it is according to the definition of correlation analysis, it is association among variables. That is what we are concerned about in correlation analysis. Correlation research is a non-experimental research method. In this research method, there is no manipulation of the independent variable. In correlational research, the researcher studies the relationship between one or more quantitative independent variables and one or more quantitative dependent variables. That's the meaning of correlational research. In order to increase the accuracy of the study, a researcher should increase the size of the sample, should be honest and unbiased, should keep the variance high. Well, the correct option will be D, all of these. In order to increase the accuracy of the study, a researcher should increase the size of the sample, he should be honest and unbiased, he should keep the variance high, I mean the differences between variables and other things, he should keep the variance high. Then accuracy is possible. Variation or dispersion refers to the degree of scatter or variability among a collection of observations. 10-year-old children are taller than 6-year-old children. It is an example of cross-sectional studies. In cross-sectional studies, population of various ages, sex or religion is taken and their attributes or qualities are collected and compared. So, this is a typical example of cross-sectional studies. A researcher wants to study the future of the Congress in India. For the study, which tool is most appropriate for him? Appropriate means relevant. Which is most relevant for him? It is questionnaire. Why? Questionnaire is the most relevant technique for studying such problems because a large sample of the population can be covered in a short period by mailing it to the respondents. That is why questionnaire is the most appropriate or most relevant tool for such kind of researchers. Thank you very much for your presence here. Kindly subscribe if you like these videos. You will be able to get all my videos in your box. I am going to upload quite a lot of net related videos, debt related videos, diet related videos, B.Ed related videos, M.Ed related videos, research related videos, and all educational videos in my channel. My channel name is Jesudas Magis. youtube.com/Jesudas Magis. I will be giving in the next video. Please see that and then please subscribe. It will be helpful for me. It will be helpful for you too. Thank you very much for your presence here.